parallel with Machiavelli, not simply his manner of writing, but his art of thinking, which brings to a flashpoint the fusion of poetry and politics. Only one of these talks was not broadcast on the France Inter network during the summer of 2016. The fifth focused on Machiavelli's reading of Lucretius's De Natura Rerum, a dangerous and deviant book that makes the world jump its rails and come off its hinges. The plan was to air the episode on Friday, July 15th, but it was swallowed up by the sorrow, anger, and numbness that followed the terrorist attack on the Promenade des Anglais in Nice on July 14th, France's national holiday, when 86 people were killed and more than 400 wounded. Although this book restores the text to its original place, there is still a gap left by the lasting stamp of fear. Is that why I have chosen to give prominence in the book's American edition to the politics of fear? Not solely. As I write this preface, I am remembering a dialogue that I had with the political scientist Corey Robin, the author of a major book in 2004, Fear, the History of a Political Idea. One day, he wrote, the war on terrorism will come to an end. All wars do. And when it does, we will find ourselves still living in fear, not of terrorism or radical Islam, but of the domestic rulers that fear has left behind. Our discussion, which led to the publication in 2015 of L'exercice de la peur, usage politique d'une émotion, spreading fear, the political uses of an emotion, asked whether the American way of fear might be exported around the world. We touched on Hobbes, of course, de Tocqueville and Hannah Arendt, but also Machiavelli, who continually inquired about the fears of those who govern. What makes them truly afraid? When justice stops being effective, or when the crimes of corruption stop being punished, and when political violence is no longer a threat, there is nothing left to cause fear in those who govern shamelessly. That is, buoyed by a mood they aren't in control of, and that no one is on hand to countervail. What will then happen to the Republic? This question inevitably arises when anxiety is felt about democracy, because the Republic loses its stability when it no longer reflects a pacified equilibrium between the different fears that divide it. In 1975, J.G.A. Pocock defined that loss of equilibrium as the Machiavellian moment, when there is daylight between a republic and its values. American historians have since associated Machiavelli's name with that form of political crisis, a practice I have followed in this book. And today we are undeniably living through another Machiavellian moment, again bringing the Florentine author close to the core of American reality. But the author of the present lines is in no position to analyze the ins and outs of the situation, other than by this cross-Atlantic dialogue. What is fundamentally at stake is the capacity of the available political language to make sense of current developments. Living in unstable times, Machiavelli was keenly aware that the old political lexicon, which the Middle Ages had inherited from Aristotle, no longer served him adequately. One instance was the basic opposition between the ideas of reigning and dominating, which lay at the heart of the medieval concept of government, the regimen. By describing the exercise of power as a skilled technique of domination, Machiavelli showed that the old political language, founded on key distinctions, was out of date. And Machiavelli defined the intellectual's task as a kind of resoluteness toward truth, being unmoved by the dazzle of words to go straight toward the actual truth of the matter, andare diretto alla verità effettuale della cosa. This experience, which is profoundly Machiavellian in nature, is one that recurs again and again in history, whenever the words for expressing the things of politics become obsolete. What do we do when confronting adversaries we can't put a name to? We call them fascists, for want of a better term, just as in Italy's medieval communes, the people called the lords tyrants. We intend to confound them, to abash and bring them down, when we should, in fact, be examining what they say closely for its fascist potential. One thing is certain, when we use words from the past, we are showing our inability to understand the present. Since the summer of 2016,